Eleanor Roosevelt, More Than a First Lady, by Joanne Mattern. Eleanor Roosevelt was one of the most important women in the 20th century. She worked for things that she believed in. She helped change the lives of many people. Anna Eleanor Roosevelt was born in New York City on October 11, 1884, to Elliot and Anna Hall Roosevelt. Both of her parents died by the time she was 10. Then she went to live with her grandmother. In 1889, her grandmother sent her to school in England. When Eleanor Roosevelt was 18 years old, she moved back to New York City. She worked as a volunteer in a settlement house. A settlement house is a place for immigrants and poor families to learn new things. She taught dance and exercise classes. She also learned about the problems these families had. In 1905, Eleanor Roosevelt married Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a distant cousin. They had 6 children. Franklin Roosevelt was a senator for New York State from 1911 to 1913. As his wife, Eleanor Roosevelt was expected to go to many parties and other events. However, she wanted to do more. Eleanor Roosevelt started working as a volunteer for the Red Cross. In 1921, Franklin Roosevelt got sick with an illness called polio. He couldn't stand or walk without help. Eleanor Roosevelt helped her husband at home and at work. Eleanor Roosevelt also worked to gain rights for women. She worked for other causes too, such as making laws to keep workers safe. In 1932, Franklin Roosevelt was elected President of the United States. Eleanor Roosevelt became the First Lady. She did more work than most other First Ladies. Franklin Roosevelt couldn't travel much because of his illness. Eleanor Roosevelt traveled across America to help him. She told her husband how Americans lived and what they needed. Eleanor Roosevelt saw that many African Americans were treated unfairly. She spoke out against racism. Eleanor Roosevelt also held many press conferences. Often she asked that only women reporters came. This made some news companies hire women to go to the conferences. From 1935 to 1962, Eleanor Roosevelt wrote a daily newspaper column called My Day. She wrote about equal rights for all people, current events, and more. Millions of Americans read her column. In 1945, Franklin Roosevelt died. Vice President Harry Truman became president. Although Eleanor was no longer First Lady, she continued to work for the country. She became a United States representative to the United Nations. She worked for peace and human rights. Eleanor Roosevelt died on November 7, 1962. She was 78 years old. Eleanor made a difference in the lives of millions of people. She will be remembered for her work as a First Lady and much more.